Hello everyone, just a small video to show you how to replace the battery in your Mercedes-Benz. This one is a 2005 C180 key fob. Now it actually does take two batteries, and the battery that it takes is this lithium 3 volt. It's a CR2025 or CR2025. They actually go together, giving us a total of 6 volts for this key fob. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is there's a little latch here at the top of the key fob. Just get your fingernail on that carefully, and it just releases the emergency key from the key fob. Just got to get the right position here. There we go. It's got a little spring there, and that then releases the key. So the key just sits inside of the fob. There it goes. Put that to one side. And then you may look at this and think, now how do I go about the next stage of actually pulling it apart? Well, this doesn't actually open out. This casing here does not split open, so don't try to do that because you'll damage it. If you look very carefully down in the slot here, there's a small button that you press that way, and that then will release the little slider which holds the battery module inside of the key fob. It's a little bit fiddly. You can actually use the key itself. I think that was the idea anyway. You sort of have to press that in a little bit to push the button, and then with your fingernail, oops, it's got a little bit tricky here. It's easier to use your nails of your fingers to ease out the back part. Probably not coming out too well on the camera. It's a bit slippery. Here he comes. I wouldn't really want to use my little blade here because it could damage the housing. I don't want to do that. So I've just eased it out with my fingernails, and it should just continue to pull away. Here it comes. There it goes there. Be fairly careful. It's a little bit fiddly. So there is the housing. Put that to one side. And you'll see here that it's got this module here that holds the batteries. Now it's really important to note the polarity of these batteries. So at the moment, the positive is actually facing upwards on this battery, and it goes on to the positive of the one below, and this is the negative of the bottom battery. So actually just pull out carefully with your little prise tool. It's okay, Birdie, I'm just changing the battery on the key fob. Yes, nothing to worry about. Sorry about that, everybody. The bird just likes to be talked to and likes to have yes, okay, settle down. So take out the top battery, and then the bottom one looks like it's going to come out quite easy. It will probably drop out actually. There we go. So remember, it goes together with the first battery facing downwards, with the negative facing downwards. So slide that in place, and then just slide the top battery on top of it. So basically we're going, the top battery is actually now in series with the bottom battery. They're 3 volts each, giving us a total of 6 volts. So it's quite a tidy little module there that holds the batteries in place. And I hope that's coming out okay for you to follow. But this is a very expensive key fob, and you want to take it carefully. You do not want to damage this. As you know, Mercedes-Benz parts can be expensive, so make sure you just take your time, make sure it's seated in place nicely. It looks really tidy in there. Everything's lined up nicely. I'm now going to put the module that holds the batteries back inside of the main key fob body. So just line it up carefully. You'll feel it sort of go in position. Don't force any of these parts, okay, because that means you've got something that's not been lined up correctly. So it looks like it's just going to go in there nicely, and just push it down, and you should hear a little click when it gets in this bottom, when it bottoms out. Yep. Didn't make any sound, but I felt it actually go into position. And it's nice and tidy. I've got no little scratches where these where the two join there, and where they join here, and where it comes across the back here. You just don't want to ruin that. This is a really nice key fob, and you want to keep it looking nice. So then put the emergency key back into position. The actual emergency key is what actually holds your keyring onto the key fob. It's got the hole in the top there. So it's quite a clever little design. Just sit that in place there like that. Line it up nicely, and that will probably just click home nicely. There we go. So that little grey button there, it's a little slider. You just got to get your fingernail carefully and just sort of get it in there, and you'll feel it sort of slide backwards and forwards like that. And that's how you pull out the emergency key. So if this ever goes flat, you can pull out the emergency key, get into the car. Although I haven't had to do this, I'd imagine you'd then still be able to use the actual fob here to start the car. No guarantees on that. This little sensor at the end here, I believe, it looks like it's a little infrared sensor. Someone might want to comment more on that. I'm not an expert on the actual internal electronics of this key fob, but I do know that they are expensive. And it's a good idea, now that I've replaced the batteries in this one, for me now to replace the batteries in my spare one, so they both are at the same time, so they'll age pretty much together. Although this will get a little bit more use because this is on the daily keyring that I use for that car. So there you go, everybody. If you've got a C180, I imagine it's similar on through some of the years there. Mine's 2005. And I noticed some of them have a bit of chrome around this part. Some of them have a red dot on it as well. This doesn't have any of that. Anyway, this is the key fob out of my car, and that's how you replace the two batteries. So get your batteries first, because you need those, and just go for the standard CR2025, which is a 3-volt lithium battery. Thank you very much for watching.